Hi, my name is Michelle and I'm with Best Craft Organizer. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to put together a Best Craft Organizer storage cabinet. In front of me I have a double counter height cabinet and we're just going to dive into it. I'm going to show you a couple of pieces so far as the panels and how I lay these out and how to identify some things. So for starters, this is the bottom panel, and the quickest way to identify that is there's going to be holes here for the casters. Regardless if you order your cabinet with casters or not, you're still going to have these holes. So in the future, if you decide to add them, you can do that, and then also for the legs as well. So you'll have these holes for the bottom piece, and that's how we'll identify that. I'm just going to set this over here as we start to lay this out. This is going to then be your top piece. It'll be the same width and length, and that I'm going to set next to my bottom piece. And then the other panels that are going to be the different height are going to be either your back or side panels. And a way to identify the back or side is the back is going to look just with these larger camlock holes and some holes on the side. You're not going to see all the little tiny holes going down, which allows you to customize your cabinet. So this is how you would know this is a back panel. And I'm going to put this right next to me here. And then you've got your side panels, and how you're going to identify this as a side panel is you're going to have all of these tiny little holes. So again, this is what allows you to customize that cabinet. There's going to be two types of potential side panels. If you have just a single cabinet, you're going to have just two side panels. But if you do have a double or a triple, you will have some of these side panels that have a hole that go all the way through where you're putting in your quick fit dowels. So make sure you identify which ones have a hole that goes all the way through, and those are going to be in the center. This one, for example, it does not go all the way through, so again, nice and clean, so it's definitely on your side. And we're going to put that on this kind of far edge. I believe this is the one that has the holes going all the way through, so you're going to see this again here, and you're going to put this in the center just to kind of lay it out how you would put it together. And my last one, again, does not have any of the holes coming through. No, it's a side panel because it has all the tiny holes for your customization, and I'm going to put that on this side here. So you will need a screwdriver as you're assembling these, and then your hardware. This is what your hardware bag is going to look like. And if you did not see your hardware with your cabinet in that box, more than likely it's going to be in a box with your drawers if you ordered drawers. So just look for it there. But we're going to get all of our hardware out here. I'm going to kind of dump it next to me. The first thing that we're going to put in is the quick fit dowels. So these quick fit dowels will go into your side panels and your top and your bottom. You don't want to put these in the center panel where that hole goes all the way through. So make sure you don't do that. I've done that a few times myself when I've put these together, not thinking. So again, just on the far sides, you'll put these quick fit dowels. They also are going to go in the inside holes. So you have two holes here. The inside hole is where you're going to put that quick fit dowel. So I'm going to add that in there. And then I'm going to come over again. I'm going to skip this center panel and go on to my other side and put that in on the inside hole and here. And then I'm going to jump over to my tops and bottoms and actually put those quick fit dowels in as well. So let me just gather these up here. And again, it's going to be the same thing where we're going to put it on the inside hole. So I'm going to grab all these and get them on the inside. And I need a few more. All right, almost there. Grab my last one so we can get this last piece here. All right, so we've got all our quick fit dowels in place. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the wood dowels and we're going to put the wood dowels in the outside hole. So I'm going to grab a bunch of these here as we get them. So let me grab this. Again, you're going to just kind of push it in there, give it a little bit of pressure to get it inside that hole. There's that one. And you do actually do this in the center. You can do it now, or you can wait kind of till you get to the center. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of place it in there. And again, it's going to be on that outside hole. And I'm going to just push it down as far as I can right now. And then again on that other panel, on the other side panel, the outside hole. And then we've got a whole bunch of them we're going to put in on our top and bottom panels. So again, I'm going to move this up a little bit. We're going to set this right in the outside hole. Push those in till you kind of feel it stop. This is where if you had a hammer, you could definitely do it. You're just going to want to lightly tap it though as you're putting these in. And almost there. Just get the last ones in on my bottom panel. All right, so we've got all of our wood dowels in place. The next thing we're going to do is place all of our cam locks. So your cam locks are these little silver circles. If you've done any other cabinets, it's a pretty common little piece that you're probably used to, but we're going to put all of these in the larger circle holes. The one thing you're going to want to do is, as you look at this, and I'm not sure if it'll show on camera or not, but you're going to have kind of an arrow pointing up, or another way to look at it, so you want this arrow, you can also see on the back where you've got the hole, you want that hole facing where the hole comes out on the side. So you're going to place that cam lock in with that arrow pointing up and that hole opening. That allows you to put those cam locks in, and then you can lock them in place. So we're going to go ahead and put all of these in and just push them into place. And we've got a bunch of these, and again, I'm just making sure that arrow is pointing the right direction as I'm putting them in. This makes it a lot easier later when you're trying to assemble everything together. We're going to skip over this center panel right now, and we're going to go to my other side panel, again making sure that arrow is facing the right way. And we've got left all of our top and bottom panels. Oh, you know what? Sorry, we're not putting that. So now we're putting actually the cam locks into our back panels. So I'm going to just pull this kind of out for a second. So these are our back panels, and we're going to put those cam locks in there as well. Again, with that arrow pointing out towards the hole coming out on the side. Losing one there, just trying to find that arrow. And this last back piece, we'll get these in as well. Okay, so we have all of that in for our back panels, our side panels, and our top and bottom pieces. So the next thing we're going to do is actually start assembling our pieces. So I'm going to kind of stretch this out. I'm going to move these to the side for just a moment. And we're going to take this first piece here. So this is our back panel. And I've got those cam locks facing in, or actually, you know what? I'm I'm going to cheat it for a second. This is just one way. If you can't get that first one on, if you lay it sideways, you can sometimes get it a little easier by pushing it this way. All right, so there's that first piece on. I'm going to then actually flip it back this way, and I'm going to tighten this now. And that is by just turning that, and you can see it tighten. That's how you know it grabbed it. If you don't see that, it's not quite grabbing it, so just kind of make sure you're pushed in as far as you can so those quick fit dowels get the connection to that cam lock. And again, you'll twist it and it'll pull tight that side panel. All right, so the next one is we're actually going to do our centerpiece now. So I'm going to grab this out. And this is where a hammer might become helpful. Bear with me one second. You're going to need your long connector bolts. So that's going to be this one right here, and that allows you to connect two of the side panels through that center panel, or I'm sorry, your back panels through that center panel. The easiest way to put these long connector bolts is to actually put it directly into the back panel first. So I'm going to put it into the hole that is near the cam lock. So I'm going to slide that in. And then I'm going to grab this center panel, and one trick I want to show you, if you don't have a hammer and these wood dowels aren't going kind of all the way through, you want it to be halfway through on both sides. A little trick is put that on top of your another panel. It doesn't have to necessarily be this one, and then you can just kind of push that through a little bit further so you've got it half and half in there. So I'm going to do this one as well just to get it half and half because it's going to connect to two back panels. All right, so we've got that, and then just so you guys see this a little bit better, I'm going to lift this cabinet up. You can choose to do this on the floor if you want for the connection, or you can do it similar to what I'm doing. But then we're going to connect this center panel and these bolts here. So I'm going to just kind of put this in. All right, and then I'm actually going to come around and tighten that first. So I'm going to tighten my cam lock, make sure that's in. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Let me go the right way. There we go. And do this one as well. Make sure that grabs. You can kind of tug on it a little bit on the side here to make sure it grabbed. And then I'm going to take my other back panel. And again, you want the cam lock showing at the front like here. And you're going to connect that piece in as well. And just kind of push them together like this to get that connection, and then go ahead and tighten your cam locks. Just like that. And then just kind of test it to make sure you've got the connection there. And then our last side panel, we're going to grab this here, and same thing, just kind of push it together. So, and I'm working from behind. Normally I think I'd be at the front, so bear with me as I just kind of grab it together. I'm just going to tap that in. And I'm going to see if I'm close enough to grab it. I don't think I am, so I'm going to tap it just a little bit more. So hold on one second here. I'm going to open that up, and then I'm going to just kind of tap it just to get that full connection. There we go. And then tighten that. You can definitely see when it grabs. And there we go. We've got all those pieces together. Next, we're going to do our bottom piece. So I'm going to grab that out here. And again, to identify the bottom, you're going to look for the holes so you can see that's where your casters would go if you were going to put your casters on. So look for these holes to know that that's a bottom piece. What I do want to show you is on this bottom piece you're going to see, and it will be similar for the top, you're going to see the spacing is a little different on the two different holes. So you're going to have a wider gap here and a less of a gap here. So just look at the front and the back so you can match that up. So again, the wider gap is at the back. So I'm going to flip this around and line this up with that. Sometimes it's nice just to get it started just a little bit, and then you can kind of match it up the rest of the way before you really press down on everything. There we go. Make sure I'm not losing it on this side. All right, you're just gonna kind of push that all on. Again, you can kind of tap on it however you want to do this. You can put some body weight into it. You can just kind of lightly tap and pound it down till it's all the way down. And I think we're good on the back here. All right, so I'm going to come around and just tighten all of these quick fit dowels and the cam locks, and then I'm going to show you two more places where we're going to add a cam lock. So I'm going to twist this around, and I'm going to add these cam locks in with, again, that open side up so it just easily goes in place. And you can add these in before you do this part. I seem to always do it once I get to this part of the cabinet assembly, and then you'll tighten that as well. All right, and then our last two back here we're going to tighten. And we've got our bottom piece on. So this would be where you would add your casters. If you're adding casters, we're not going to do that, but you would just screw those casters on. We're going to go ahead and flip this around and add our top. I'm going to move behind it. So I'm going to kind of shift the cabinet like this and then sort of gently put that down and then pull it back up. And of course I'm on the slippery surface here, so bear with me. I just want to do it gently and slide it around so you guys can see this side of it. And we're going to add that top piece. And again, same as the bottom, you've got less space between the front, more space between the back, so make sure that lines up when you're putting this piece on. And we're just going to line this up again with all of those holes, and sometimes it's best to line those wood dowels out first before you start hitting down, and just make sure everything goes in place. All right, and I'm going to actually stand up for this as we just kind of push them in. Okay, so we've got that all on, and we're going to come back around and tighten our quick fit dowels and our cam locks. I'm going to grab this here. Again, you definitely see it grab, so kind of look for that. Same thing on this center one. I'm going to add in these here. And our last ones. All right, so that is our cabinet. That's how easy it goes together. We're going to add some drawers and some shelves and paper shelves just to show you that quick process. But this is the basic of your cabinet, and then the configuration comes after that. So I'm going to grab a couple of quick pieces, and we'll just finish off with those, and you can customize your cabinet from there.